Hello, my name is Brian Singwitz. I am a health and phys ed teacher at Center for Student Learning. Um, when I went to college, I actually got my degree in sports management. I graduated from East Stroudsburg University in 2005. After I got my degree, I got a job for the Flyers and Sixers doing ticket sales. And then I was selling some of their premium seating options. When I left there in 2008, I went and worked for my uncle for a couple years, doing work in their warehouse while I went back to school to get my teaching cert in health and phys ed. I did my health and phys ed certification at Cairn University in Langhorne, graduated there in 2013. Um, Basically, the way that I do every day, I teach high school and middle school health and phys ed. I teach about 5 periods a day. Uh, with that, there's a health portion and a physical education portion. Uh, when it comes to after school activities, I run a basketball program, which is run through 21st Century at our school. And I also am the JV coach for Pennsbury Baseball High School. Um, and that's it. Thanks. Have a good day.
My name is Elena Augello and I teach 5th grade.
And what is your title?
My title is classroom teacher.
What path did you take to get there?
So first I studied undergraduate at Penn State, elementary education, and my internship was to do a student teaching within the Reading School District.
What does your day-to-day job look like?
Well, unfortunately, currently it looks like teaching remotely, but normally on a day-to-day, I am teaching 5th graders all of their normal day-to-day subjects as well as other various life lessons.
Any other information you'd like to share?
Teaching is a lot of hard work, but it's definitely rewarding.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm currently a special education teacher. I specifically teach 5th grade learning support. I teach in the Delaware County area. I enrolled at Cabrini University in education. During my senior year, I had my student teaching experience, and this allowed me to view the duties and responsibilities of being a teacher before I actually went and set out in the field. Having the field work reassured me that I really wanted to be a teacher. To give you some background about my typical day, I have students coming in and out of the classroom pretty much all day. I teach students for math and ELA. Some students come in for math support, while others come in for ELA support, so it just depends on their needs. Sometimes some students just come to me to talk. There might be something going on in their life that they just want some advice about. Other students come for sensory breaks. They need breaks throughout the day. One of the reasons why I wanted to be a teacher was because I wanted to help students specifically with learning disabilities. Establishing a relationship with your student is so important, and it's rewarding to see them grow at the end of the school year. I wish you guys the best of luck in continuing your career path.
Hi everyone, my name is Claire Smith. I'm a 2012 graduate of Penn State Berks. I graduated with my degree in elementary and kindergarten education, and I was actually one of the last classes to graduate with the certificate of elementary K to 6. Upon graduation, I took the praxis exams and obtained my Instructional 1 certificate. Later that summer in 2012, I was hired by the Allentown Diocese, and I spent 3 years from 2012 to 2015 teaching 4th grade at St. Michael the Archangel School. In 2015, the summer, I was hired by Bethlehem Mary School District, and I've spent the past 5 years teaching 5th grade at Farmersville Elementary School. So my day-to-day job and tasks involve creating lessons, planning lessons for my students, creating content activities, assessing my students, interacting with students and parents on a day-to-day basis, and continuing professional development. Speaking of professional development and continuing education, I'm currently obtaining my master's degree from Lehigh University in the Teaching, Learning, and Technology program, and I will be graduating this coming summer. I'm also the co-vice president of Teach Rwanda, which is a nonprofit organization, and my involvement with Teach Rwanda actually stemmed back from a connection I made through Penn State Berks. While I was at Penn State Berks, I was able to complete a month-long study abroad internship in Rwanda, Africa, and the connections led to me joining Teach Rwanda and becoming a board member a few years later. Penn State Berks prepared me for my current career in other ways. The student teaching placement at Penn State Berks was unique because it was a year-long placement, whereas a lot of other universities only have a couple months. So I feel that Penn State Berks has prepared me for my current career and extracurricular activities in many ways, and I'm very grateful for that.
Hi, I'm here to tell you how to become a teacher of the deaf or hard of hearing. I personally went to Bloomsburg University and received my bachelor's degree in elementary education and my master's degree in deaf education. Some of the class requirements for the master's degree program were taking ASL classes, audiology, speech and language impairments, how to work with the equipment that the students usually have, is like as far as hearing aids, cochlear implants, and FM systems. You do have one semester dedicated to student teaching, and they try to give you two different types of experience. One would be within a classroom, and the other one would be itinerant. I was an itinerant hearing therapist for 30 years, and what that means is I went from school to school, and I worked with students who are mainstream in regular education. However, they might need some support and assistance in their increasing their vocabulary skills, their auditory training, speech reading, self-advocacy, because you're not there all the time. So they have to learn how to advocate for themselves. You will work closely with the classroom teachers because they might have, if there's some vocabulary, for example, that the student is struggling with, and at least you can work with them within a quiet setting during hearing support. And you will also have to instruct the teachers on basic troubleshooting with hearing aids and their FM systems or cochlear implants. Again, because you're not there to advise them, it's at least they can have some general knowledge on how to fix things. The one thing I cannot stress is that you need to be organized and flexible if you want to become an itinerant hearing therapist. You are not assigned to an office. You might have to share a room with a speech therapist and occupational therapist and physical therapist. So you might have to work around everybody's schedule as far as working out your own. You may not have a file cabinet, so your trunk becomes your mini office. And what helped me keep organized is I have a bag for each student with their name on it. And so when I came to the school, all I needed to do was pick up a bag, and it had the student's IEP, data collection sheets, any material that we're working on, and glue, scissors, or whatever else I need to accomplish my lesson. The other thing is to wear comfortable shoes. You will be walking. If it's not walking from the parking lot, you're walking up steps, down steps, and back and forth. And that's the best advice I can give you, along with being flexible and organized. I hope I gave you some thoughts and ideas on how to become a teacher, and I hope it intrigues you. And it's a very rewarding field, and I'm very happy and that I did it. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Sue, and I am an administrative assistant for one of our local elementary schools. And my job duty there is to make sure that every student is accounted for every single day. We always want to make sure that everybody is safe. I'm also in charge of our student system. I do all the scheduling for all of our new students. We place them with a teacher and just make sure that they are comfortable on their first day of school. I'm also in charge of all of our substitute teachers. I make sure that they get paid for when they come into our building to sub. And I also help out the principal if he should need anything done, like a report or a paper typed. I am there to help him. I've been there for 26 years, and I like my job a lot. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm a professor of kinesiology at Penn State Berks. My official title is I'm a lecturer in kinesiology. So kinesiology is the study of physical activity, not just on exercise, but the biomechanics, physiology, psychology of movement within healthy and diseased populations. My students are interested in becoming either a physical therapist, a PA, continue on to med school, or some are also interested in personal training and owning their own gym. My path to get here, so I graduated from Penn State Berks, majoring in kinesiology and science emphasis, and I continued my education at East Stroudsburg, receiving my master's in clinical exercise physiology. My responsibilities in higher education, so I'm creating my course content, so responsible for grading, exams, teaching, conducting assignments or discussions. I also am responsible for advising students for their scheduling, meeting with faculty and staff on campus, continue meeting with students if they have questions, and also organizing and participating in various outreach programs within the community, and also with committees on campus. So I guess other information for teaching in higher education, majority of positions require you to have your PhD. With those tenure track positions, they are required to produce more research with less teaching, so they typically teach maybe 2 to 3 classes depending on the situation. For a lecturer position like mine, I teach maybe 5 to 7 classes a semester, and my responsibilities for research is rather low, and I also participate in service programs. So I hope this helps. Have a great day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Robbins. I work in higher education. Currently, I am the Assistant Director of Financial Aid at Penn State Abington, so one of the Penn State campuses located right outside Philadelphia. I love higher education. I had a great time in college, so I always wanted to go back to college and work in higher ed. I have a graduate degree in higher education counseling, and while I was in grad school, I had lots of different experiences. I did academic advising, I worked in student affairs, and I really wanted to know how to help students through all facets of higher ed. So when an internship opportunity came up to work in financial aid, I took it and I fell in love with it. I love helping students navigate all of the hardships that come with figuring out their financial aid. I get to work with students all the time, which is great. My day-to-day is always different. Students are always coming in and out of our office. I get to connect with a lot of them, sometimes once, sometimes very often. Every day is different. We never know if we're going to have lots of students come in. We have prospective students come in to get more information. I'm working with families as well as students. We give presentations. There could be a problem to solve for somebody. So every day really looks different. Work with a great team on a rather large team, which is really fun. So while I get to do some one-on-one with students and some work by myself, I still get to work on a big team, which is really fun. So higher education is a great path if you want to work with people and you want to kind of stay in the college realm. It's a really, really good opportunity to do that, and it's a really fun career.
Hi, this is Joe Jamison. I'm the head wrestling coach at Ursinus College. I just completed my first season here. Prior to coming to Ursinus, I was an elementary school teacher for 18 years, and I also coached at Princeton University for 11. I got my start coaching right out of college. I was a coach at a local club and at my school district's middle school. And then I was lucky enough to land a job at Princeton, where I worked under some great coaches. And I really learned the ins and outs of running a program and what it takes. Day-to-day operations vary on the time of year. Right now I'm doing a lot of recruiting, and I'm working on our schedule for next year as well as our operating budget. Once our season starts, I spend a majority of my time practice planning and making sure our travel arrangements are made for all of our competitions, and you know, constantly recruiting. That's a never-ending cycle. Any advice to anyone is just, you know, if you really want to do something, just keep at it. Being a college head coach is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and you know, I've been out of college now for 18 years, and I just continue to work at it and learn, and here I am. Thanks so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Janine Snow Gephardt. I'm the Director of Student Involvement at Widener University, which is located in Chester, right outside of Philadelphia. My job focuses primarily on engaging our students in different campus activities, whether that's clubs and orgs, or service, or really just finding their leadership on campus. Specifically, I oversee a couple functional areas. So the first is our Pride Activities Council, which is our programming board on campus. They do all of the major programs for students to attend. So anything from taking a bus trip to Six Flags, or craft days, or bingo nights, which are hugely popular, to having performing artists come to campus. That all kind of falls under my role, and I work with our students to do that. I also oversee our alternative spring break program, so I get to send students to 5 different locations across the U.S. every spring break to do builds with Habitat for Humanity. They get to live in that area, they get to kind of immerse themselves in the culture, and it's really cool. I also work with our commuter students to make sure that they feel connected on campus, and then I help with major events like student orientation and student involvement fairs and a lot of that kind of stuff. In order to get this job, I actually have a master's degree in higher education and student affairs counseling, so I have a strong counseling background, and I have a bachelor's in applied psychology and communications. So it took me a little bit to get here, but I'm happy I'm here. I love working with students every day. I think what you all are doing by even watching this is super cool. So I look forward to seeing some of you on college campuses. Maybe I'll get to work with you. But thank you again. Stay safe and be well.